Hi there, Sandi Burgess, and I'm going to talk about these 5 Ds, which are the 5-star strategies for success, especially as they apply to network marketing. And this is kind of a highlight video and blog post because I will elaborate down the road on these 5 strategies. And of course, they all start with D, so that's easy to remember them. And I always look at everything as it applies to network marketing because I have such a passion for it, but I also realize the importance of giving people direction and all of that. So we're going to talk about the first one. Number 1 is desire. We know that. We hear every motivational speaker talks about it. Les Brown, who's a friend of mine, said you got to be hungry, and that's always important. And I know Coach K said the same thing when my son was playing at Duke, that you got to be hungry. The people that they're hungriest make the best ball players. So they want out of their situation, so they're willing to work hard. So that desire has to be a burning desire. It has to be a deep desire to move that life forward from where you are right now. And I know I'm turning 66 years young, and we've had a great lifestyle, which is amazing. But right now, sometimes I just feel like, okay, we're comfortable, we're good. Why set new goals? And it's easy to do that. And sometimes you do get to a place in your life that you no longer have that burning desire that you had when you were younger, and whatever. Life kind of gets in the way sometimes, but you've got to get out there and explore more of the world. We have seen a lot of the world because of network marketing. Has taken us on these fabulous trips everywhere. And then my son Chris played professional basketball all over the world, so I was able to go places like Istanbul and Seoul, Korea, and Australia, Sydney, Australia, because he was actually playing in those places. So I've seen a lot of the world, and I love the things I have seen. But I thought, I've never been to Greece, and I want to be there for a week on the Greek Isles in those white, villas that are on the water. And so I've been looking at pictures of that and through tourist things online, etc., because it's a goal. And I put a visual on my computer of that goal because it's somewhere that I hadn't been. And so you have to have that desire, but you've got to know your why. And they always say in networking, if your why is big enough, the how-tos don't matter. Well, I'm going to give you some how-tos along the way. But if the desire is strong, if the desire is they always say if your why makes you fly or your why makes you cry, all those things help you stay on track. So that's number 1, and we know that. We've heard that for years. Number 1 is you've got to have that burning desire. Number 2, which is really important, you can have all the desire in the world, but you've got to make the decision that you are committing to doing whatever it takes to accomplish that goal. I have so many distributors that start and stop. They start 3 months later, they've quit, or 6 months later, they quit. Who knows why? Your desire needs to be so strong, and your why and your goals need to be written down so that you commit. You know what? It's like when I went to the University of Utah music, I didn't stand on a campus and go, okay, I'm going to give it 6 months, and if I don't have that degree, I'm out of here. And so you have to have that same kind of attitude to make that commitment, that decision, and do whatever it takes. And look at your why over and over again, why you got involved in the business, so it keeps you on track. Those vision boards, you've heard of all of those things. Those things are just tools to make sure that you commit. Number 3 is be able to take direction. That's a big thing. I've worked with people over the years that do not take any direction. They're not coachable. And I can relate it to basketball, how my son, Chris, was very, very coachable. He did whatever the coach wanted him to do. And so coaches loved him. And they loved playing with him. They loved coaching him. So it's the same way in network marketing. You have got to be able to take direction. And your sponsor, your company, should have a system that you follow. And there's so much new technologies that I am so old school, being in this industry for over 40 years, that the new strategies are something that I am learning right now on social media, Instagram, all those things, Facebook Live, Twitter, Periscope, and there's so many avenues that you can utilize, but you still have to embrace those basic basic old school core strategies, which include plugging into everything going on at your company, three-way calling with your sponsor, don't talk alone, that's a whole nother training, Tuesday night broadcasts if you have them, or some sort of an in-home mixer. Tuesday night's always a really good night for that. You got Wednesday being the Bible Belt, not a good night, so Tuesday's great. And make sure that you have a path to run on, but also duplication, meaning that whatever you do duplicates if you share and teach those that you bring in the business. So that's making sure that you take direction. Number 4, of course, is discipline. And discipline really is repeated habits that are daily disciplines that you work consistently and constantly on, committed to habits and practices. For example, if you're in a company that sample 2 people a day, and make it a simple sample, not complicated, because that won't duplicate. Make 5 phone calls a day. I remember having someone in Fort Scott, Kansas, ran huge businesses during the day, wedding, registry, shop, boutique, plus a printing situation. They were just so busy. But every night after work, he made 5 calls. I mean, that was a discipline, a daily discipline. And then spend 1 hour, maybe on Facebook, reacquainting yourself with people in your past so that you can utilize them as in a customer situation or a distributor potential. And just look at those daily disciplines as joyful habits with pursuing your dreams. What do you want? Those purposeful habits. Okay, and then of course the discipline that I love to quote from Jim Rohn. You know, those who know me know I love Jim Rohn. I actually trained on the same stage with him and just love him. And he said, discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. The bridge. So you can have all these goals in the world and you have that burning desire, but if you don't have the discipline to do those daily things, you're not going to accomplish that. And I love John Wooden, who was UCLA basketball coach, legendary. He said it's the little details that are vital. Little things make big things happen. And so those little daily disciplines make the big long-term things happen. And I've talked a lot about, maybe this is what I did years ago in the Cambridge diet. That dates me back in the 80s, but I had a lot of homemakers with a lot of children. I mean, because I was in Utah, Idaho, Washington, were my big areas, Montana. And so I scheduled their week. I said, okay, let's make Monday call day, because they were overwhelmed with trying to balance kids and business and church work and all that. I said, make Monday your call day, make Tuesday your mixer, your in-home mixer where you gather people in your house. Wednesday, a walkabout, get out there, gather cards. Thursday, face-to-face appointments. Friday, follow-up. Saturday, training. I mean, just look at those things that are disciplines that help you achieve that. And then number 5, and it's kind of twofold here, be really aware of distractions and don't get caught up in them. I mean, you have to be able to manage your distractions. The world throws you distractions all of the time, and in distractions comes discouragement, another D, right? But distractions, minimize those things that you waste time on. We used to call it income generating activity. What are you doing during the day? And you can look at my blog post and my training on the steno pad. That was a steno pad, I know, old school, but it was a way to look at your left side and the right side, the things that you had to do during the day, those nitty gritty things. Left side, how many things did you actually do to move your business forward? So, you know, if we review that again, number 1, what was it? The desire. 2, making the decision. 3, taking direction. 4, having the discipline. And 5, don't get sidetracked by distraction. Okay? Thank you for listening.